Have you ever thought about how much has changed for the original NES and games from the 80s to now? I have. In this video, we look at when I first received a Nintendo console and games from my youth as a kid in the late 80s, 1988 to be more precise.
Wait.
What?
In this video, this is something me and my wife had talked about off and on for a while, and I told her the idea of this video. I was thinking about when the Nintendo, at least when I got a Nintendo back in 1988.
1988.
Growing up as a kid, when we got the NES, my wife had an NES as well. We didn't think about what things cost then compared to now. And I just wanted to do a quick video. Hopefully this is not too long. I don't like to make videos too long. But anyways, going over Nintendo, between consoles and a few games, what the costs were from
1988
to now. The insanity of retro game collecting. Let's get into it. You know, of course, there's multiple NESs that you could have picked up when you were a kid, or you probably didn't pick it up. Your parents picked it up. But the NES console that I had gotten was the NES Action Set. My mom had put it on layaway at the Kmart. If anyone had a Kmart, you know what I'm talking about. It was on layaway at Kmart. I didn't know anything about it, and it was funny how maybe the week of my birthday, me and my mom both went to Kmart. She paid the final payment on whatever it was, because I didn't know. And then when they handed it to her from the layaway section and put it on that countertop, my mind was blown. Whose is that? In my head, whose is that? And of course, she's like, happy birthday. Whoa, my mind was blown. NES Action Set. So one of the things, I had to do a little research on all the pricing that I'm going to go over really quick. So if anything, you can let me know in the comments. Some things have gone up, some things have gone down. These are just from when I researched prices at the moment. NES Action Set was the one I had. And in 1988, NES Action Set went for about $149.99. So 150 bucks. Not bad, right? For now. I mean, if they were still 150 bucks now, it'd be great. But they're not. In 1988, they were about 150 for an NES Action Set. Not counting any of the Nintendo console packages that Nintendo had. But if you were to buy the Nintendo Action Set today, brand new, I was looking up just new. Some of the estimates of what I've gotten was it'd be a little over 1,500 bucks for a new Nintendo Action Set. And I'm thinking, wow, that's insane that you would pay 150 bucks, or you would have paid 150 bucks then. And if you were to buy it new or mint, whatever, basically new was what I was researching, 1,500 bucks. That's insane. Budget games went for about 10 bucks. Budget games were budget games. You know, they were just games that Nintendo was throwing out there that people were either going to buy them or not. Anything to put out there to make a buck. A budget game. 10 bucks. You couldn't beat it. Even if you didn't know what it was, or you were just like, I'm not sure about it. It was a $10 game. So budget games were out there. Majority of the good games, if you want to call them, or the games that they knew people were going to go after, went for about $40 to $60 a game. You know, Zelda, Mario 3, you know, Castlevania, stuff like that. So some of the few games that I had growing up then, like I said, Ninja Gaiden was probably about a $60 game, $40 to $60 game. But if you were to buy that brand new now, from my research, it would go for about $1,000 plus new. Now, don't kill me in the comments if it's gone up, it's gone down. Like I said, just from what I've researched, and that's where I'm going to leave it at. Adventures of Bayou Billy is another game that I know people are probably thinking, why are you looking at putting Adventures of Bayou Billy in this video? It's a game that I had. These are all games that I actually had gotten, or that we had bought when I was growing up. And Adventures of Bayou Billy was a game that, as a lot of kids in my neighborhood, the artwork does a lot, and it really intrigues you to be like, this could be a good game. And it looked like a good game. The artwork alone pulled me in. I remember first time I got this game, we sat around. It was 5, 6 kids in my house, and we're all sitting around taking turns playing Adventures of Bayou Billy, and it was a disappointment. Stages were hard. The game was hard. If you've played it, you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't the best game, but the artwork's still great. The artwork still holds up. That game there, like I said, that was probably a $40 to $60 game. I think it was more of a $40 game. I could be wrong. I don't remember 88 that well. But if you were to buy Adventures of Bayou Billy now, new, it would go for about $390 new. Makes sense. It's new. Double Dragon was another one that I had. Who didn't have Double Dragon? If you played the arcade cabinet of Double Dragon, then you knew, or at least you thought, the NES console version was going to be through the roof insane. And was it a good game? It's a good game, but it was disappointing. I wanted that two-player action, just like you got in the cabinet. But in this one, it was one player. You took turns, and who knows? Anyways, Double Dragon was one that I still enjoy. I have it in my collection, and if you were to buy that one new, it goes for about a little over $1,500 new. Crazy, right? Super Mario Brothers 2 is another one that is a really good game. That is one that I owned as well. If you had that one new, I mean new, sealed, that one goes for over $5,300 new. And I'm thinking, wow, kids in the 80s were sitting on gold mines here. But I told my wife before I was filming this, you know, we were growing up, we got these games, we just wanted to open them up and play. That's what I like to do. I still want to just open them up and play. I'm not worried about keeping them minty and, you know, and sealed. I want to open them up and enjoy them. I want my kids to enjoy them. Another one, Super Mario Brothers 3, the Tanuki, my wife's favorite Mario game. To this day, new would go for about a little over $1,400, and I kind of thought, wow, the big difference in new games between Mario Brothers 2 and Mario Brothers 3. A little over $5,000 for Mario 2, and only about $1,400 for Mario 3. Go figure. That could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. Maybe things have changed. I don't know. RC Pro-Am was another game that I had growing up as a kid. To me, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a game that my mom bought because it might have been a $10 game. If you bought it new today, it'd go for a little over $600. Not bad. Wish I had it new. Wish I had all these games new, but I don't have them new. And it's okay. I've got them cart only. Majority of them behind me are cart only, and that's fine. TMNT.
God, I love being a turtle!
The original Ninja Turtles. Who was not excited for TMNT to come out in the NES? I was. Growing up, had a group of friends in elementary school. We were all one of the turtles, and we would pretend to be the turtles every day after school, during school. It was great. And if you had TMNT brand new sealed today, it would go for a little over $2,200. $2,200. Wow. Still cool. Jackal, another great game that I still like that game so much. If you've ever played Jackal, it's a good game. New, that would go for about $600. I like that game. To me, that's a game that me and a friend actually ditched school one time to try to beat the game. Thankfully, we beat the game, but we also got in trouble for not going to school. So it was a win-win, lose-lose, somewhere over there. Ice hockey. Did you ever play ice hockey? Ice hockey was another fun game. I liked picking skinny players, medium-sized players, chunky players. To this day, I feel like a chunky player on ice hockey. And that game new, I'm guessing that was a $10 game, because to me, I don't think I've met anybody that doesn't like that ice hockey game. Between that and Blades of Steel, the ice hockey game new today would go for about $230 and some change. Blades of Steel, another great game. Really enjoyed the fight sequence in that game. The guys, hockey, they fight, right? But what was great about hockey, the Blades of Steel and ice hockey are probably my two favorite games. That's why I made sure I added those in there, and I've got those. Blades of Steel new would go for about $500. I can understand that. Both games, to me, great games. Still enjoy them. Brings back a lot of memories. Castlevania Simon's Quest 2, brand new, sealed, would go for just a little over $2,000 new, sealed. Wow. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Wow. I still enjoy that game. My teenage son, Yankee, who is also a member of the Funhouse. You guys, if you've seen him in the videos, you know what I'm talking about. He likes that game. We played the Wii version of Punch-Out as well. That's a fun one as well. That one new, $3,400. It was funny. All these games had like some change added to them and this and that. But when I researched Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, it was $3,400 flat. Ghostbusters for the NES as well was another game. Not the best game, but if you were a Ghostbusters fan, I was a Ghostbusters fan. I was just excited to play it, and there was nothing, to me, it was the greatest game. Then as I see it now, and I've played it recently, I'm like, still fun, nostalgic, but it wasn't a great game. I'm sorry. But that one new would only go for about $150 new. And I can understand why. Great artwork because it's basically the Ghostbusters logo, but $150. The Goonies 2.
Rocky Road?
There never was a sequel. Huh. Who knew? I wish they would make a sequel movie to the original movie, but that one always really just puzzled me. Goonies 2. Is there a second movie coming out? Is there another Goonies coming out? We never got a second movie. Huh. But Goonies 2, who knows? I'm guessing they just figured they would just make a game, Goonies 2, and it would be a new adventure on the Nintendo. That was a game I was always puzzled by because I couldn't connect that game to the movie, but I still enjoyed playing it. It's a game that I actually sought after. It's not a hard game to find. Now, card only, it's pretty cheap, but then it was a $40 to $50 game, or $40 to $60 game. That game, new sealed, would go for about $2,500 and some change, somewhere around there. Over $2,000 easily for Goonies 2. And I just am mind blown by the pricing of games then and now. How retro gaming has skyrocketed in pricing, and some games are really expensive. Some games are not as expensive. Kind of like Ghostbusters for the Nintendo it's only about $150 new. I think if I found it for $150 new sealed, I would probably buy it just to have it on my shelf. It'd be really cool. I've already got the game on cartridge, so I'm still playing it, and I can have something to be like, hey, it's new, sealed. Not worth much, but still. Other than that, guys, I just wanted to really just kind of walk through 1988
1988.
gaming for me, Nintendo, between the NES action set and a few games, some of the pricing then compared to now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment if some of these games have gone up, gone down. Maybe there's a game that is one of your favorites that you've recently bought and you thought about it as well. This game costs this much now. It only cost this much then. Wow, who knew? It don't even have to be a Nintendo game. Let me know any game that you've got that you grew up with that you were just put it out there. Let me know. It's insane how much Nintendo games are, how much retro games go for now. But it's fun. It's all good. For me, I just like to collect the games I'm going to play from my childhood. I don't care if they're sealed. I'd rather them not be sealed because I'm going to open them. Right? I'm going to open them. You don't have to open them. It's up to you. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, stay tuned. And hopefully by the time this video drops, Merry Christmas.